Oh, hey, little Timmy, what do you want to be when you grow up? Ooh, I want to do data entry for an insurance firm. Okay, well, that's depressing. Anything besides that? I also really want to work in a call center. Oh my god, that's even worse. What about being a knight? I guess. Oh, Timmy, be careful what you wish for. Welcome to medieval Europe, Timmy. You're a real knight now. Tell me, how old are you? I'm 27. Okay, well, anyway, get ready for your midlife crisis because your life expectancy just dropped from 80 to a meager 48 years. So I suppose you better start praying for a spot in heaven. Actually, I'm a Scientologist. God, this keeps getting worse with you. Never the matter, you're a Christian now, unless you want to take it to the big man upstairs. I heard the local authorities would love to give you a not-so-express ticket straight to heaven. But don't worry about living holy and following such frivolous commandments as thou shalt not kill or thou shalt not steal. You're a knight, and therefore you belong to the nobility. And everybody knows laws don't apply to important people. Well, these days, the word knight probably conjures up an image of a valiant hero in glistening armor riding his noble steed into battle to against all odds rescue a damsel in distress. A man who protects the weak, all in accordance with his knightly oaths. Well, that's knights in fairy tales. Real knights were quite different. First of all, a knight is essentially just a highly trained soldier who could afford better weaponry than the average stinking peasant. Their only real obligation in life was serving their lord, which is often a count or a king, in times of war. This gave knights a lot of free time on their hands. And what happens when men, with the best weapons money can afford, who have been raised to only know war and who believe that laws don't apply to them, get bored? You're right, they have not so cordial relations with the local female peasant populace, combined with the expropriation of those peasants' goods. In fact, knights terrorizing the populace was such a large issue in France that it was one of the driving forces behind the First Crusade. Hey, at least you can save a damsel in distress. But no, that too only exists in fairy tales. Your marriage was most likely arranged before you could even wipe your own ass, so you'll be forever tied to a woman you never chose. Luckily for you, there are always extramarital affairs. In fact, not having any mistresses was quite frowned upon. However, since we're talking about the Middle Ages, and humanity wouldn't find out women were actually people for at least another 500 years, these norms concerning extramarital affairs were quite different for women. If a woman was found out to have an affair, well, I think you can imagine what would happen. Well, Timmy, I think it's time to go inside of the castle. Wow, is all of this mine? Nope, that's your lord's castle. A common misconception is that every knight had his own castle. Well, this is far from the truth. In fact, it was quite normal for a knight to live in the same castle as his lord and be a so-called in-house knight. Wait, so I'm forever going to be a smelly brute and I don't even have a castle to show for it? No, of course not. You probably wouldn't be as smelly as you think you'd be. In the Middle Ages, bathing was much more common than often depicted in movies and books. In fact, both noblemen and peasants alike often went to bathhouses to wash the plague out of their hair. Smelling good was considered to be pure and holy, and having a foul stench was considered sinful. While all this fighting, plundering and pillaging is fun and all, I wouldn't recommend you get sick, because then a doctor is going to have to look at you, and he might prescribe you such fun things as bloodletting, drilling a hole into your skull, having your wounds cleaned with pee, rubbing goat dung mixed with rosemary on you, or breathing the smoke of certain herbs. Okay, maybe I can get behind the last one. So all in all, life as a knight was probably pretty terrible. But hey, at least you weren't a peasant or a woman. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, you guys want to hear an amazing joke? Why was it called the Dark Ages? Because there were a lot of knights around.